What up, man? It's your boy Vigilante Styles, man. And man, I've been keeping up a whole lot of crazy shit, man, that's going on in the music world, let me tell you. At least in the audio plugin world. So I just found out that Waves has gone full subscription model now. What? Dude, since they've done that, fuck them, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fucking with their plugins anymore. That's bullshit to me, dude. Straight up. Like, that's bullshit. Like, come on now. How fucking greedy are they? They were selling their plugins for $29.99 for licenses, right? And then they had the update plan. Then they're like, well, we got rid of the update plan. Now you never own the plugins ever again. Like, you only own what you paid for up until that point. But now they're going strictly subscription model from here on out. So guess what? Their shit ain't that fucking great to like force me to go into a subscription model. Fuck that. Them and Pro Tools both. Fuck both of them. Fuck Waves. Fuck Pro Tools. Right? Pro Tools going down the route of forcing everybody into subscription models. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. UAD is almost as bad as them because to use their stuff, you have to buy their hardware, which is crap. You know, I know, get me wrong, back in the day, that was a good idea because people didn't have the computing power, but nowadays that's crap. But now they've gone to the native plugin thing, but they do have the subscription model and they have the ability to own a perpetual license. I don't understand what dickhead that works at their company who thought this would be a good idea. People need our products, so we're going to force them into a subscription model where they have to subscribe. They probably thought at first, hey, you know, this is cheap for people who don't have money. They can't really buy our plugins. $29.99, dude, people can buy plugins at that point. But I don't know, they're thinking some crazy shit. So they want the plugins to be like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, but you get access to everything they make for $14 a month. Well, if we do the math, man, $14 a month, man, adds up. So I'll even get my calculator out and do the stupid math. Right? Wherever my calculator is. Oh. So you're talking like $14 a month. In 12 months, you paid $168. For a lot of plugins you probably don't even use, right? That's in 1 year. Well, 10 years down the road, you paid almost $2,000 for plugins that you don't do shit with. You know? Oh, but they update them and whatever the fuck. But as soon as you can't pay for whatever reason, you lose access to your plugins. That is bullshit. You own nothing and you will be happy. Fuck that, right? You're never happy not owning anything. The only time that you could be happy about that, let's say you're starting out. I don't have the money. So I go into a subscription model because I can afford that per month until eventually I can get a perpetual license for a plugin that I want to keep, that I feel like I can't live without. I think it's kind of... Another thing, too, is just taking up all your hard drive space, all these damn plugins. Now you're going to have like 1,000 Waves plugins. Like 900 of them you're probably not going to even... Maybe 980 of them you're never going to use. That's just crap. You know? That's bullshit. And then... But that's not even for like their premium. Like their premium, I think, is like $24 or something a month. So you're talking $288 for a year. Plugins that, once again, you don't even fucking use. Most of them, right? And then multiply that, $288. And I'm going with just rough numbers here. Over 10 years, you're talking $2,880 in 10 years using their plugins. Because think about it, they've been around, like Waves has been around for like 20 years. So now they're looking at this number, they're going 2,880, this is 10 years. How many people buy our products? How many licenses have they sold? Well, shit, man, they have... Let's imagine if they were doing that model back then. I'd say maybe they have at least 1 million customers, right? So just off that alone... They've made $2 billion in 10 years. You know, am I getting this number right? $2,880 million. Yeah, man. Like, that's bullshit. And you don't own anything. Like, they're just getting free money. Like, how much did it cost them to be honestly to create these plugins? That's another thing that's kind of bullshit, right? This is all like algorithms and stuff. That's bullshit to me. Now, this is a perfect opportunity for Harrison Consoles to take over the market. Because ultimately, what are you buying from Waves? Right? You're buying fucking channel strips, saturators, all this other shit. Most of the shit they have is not even that great, you know? Their auto-tune knockoff, it's okay, but it's not anything to write home about. And it's like, but for mixing, these are mixing tools, most of what Wave sells. And it's like, you know, you have all the mixing tools you need right here. The sound you're looking for is right here. This is it. Harrison built you a console in your computer. Now you're going, well, how are they making money if they're only selling like, you know, $350 for a license? Get this, $350 to buy the very first version of this, right? But then they have sales and they have, you know, upgrade discounts and stuff like that when they make newer versions that you can get them at a cheaper price. So they don't have a reason though to milk you guys like Waves does, because Harrison also builds actual hardware consoles and builds them for the movie industry mostly, which their consoles cost over $1 million, and they're in like the biggest movie studios on the planet. You know, you're talking, God, what's the real big one right now? Sony Pictures, dude, has a Harrison MPC console, which, you know, for mixing movies. So when you go watch John Wick, that was probably mixed on a Harrison console of some kind. So Harrison's in the music game again. And they couldn't have picked a better time to fix Mixbus and all these other stuff, right? So now we don't have any complaints, man. No one can talk shit about their EQ anymore, about the cramp bells. No one can talk about that anymore. The issue about having saturation on channels and everything. Dude, this is hands down now the best DAW you'll ever... You don't need plugins. That's the whole point of using this. Now you can tell Waves, go fuck yourselves using your subscription, motherfucker. I'm going to go to Harrison. Right? And they don't fuck me like that. You pay for your license, that's your license. Boom. And you own it. You own this software. It's your software. So for you know, to do your mixing on and stuff like that. And you can put that on your computers and whatnot. You don't have to keep buying licenses, all this other shit. They take care of you. They have good, and get this, man, like their customer support is on point. You know, that they take time to talk to you, to help you. And we know that they listen to us. Yeah, we complained. Sure, we did. But they did listen. And they said, okay, look, we're going to give you what you want. You're the customer. They care about the customers, man. And that's why I want to support Harrison Consoles to the end of the world. Because they're an honest company. Okay? I don't care what these other YouTubers... Get this, the other YouTubers have conflicts of interest, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, like, I don't work for Harrison. You know what I'm saying? I buy their products. I'm a guy who buys their products. I like their products. They comment on my videos from time to time. And that's wonderful. They're the only people who do, right? I think if you watch, like, I'll mention the guy. I like him, Paul Third. You watch his videos... I think he had like a falling out with a dude from SSL. Like, come on, that's not good for your company. You know what I'm saying? And SSL is also now going subscription model for their 4KB plugin and their some of their 4KB plugin, I think. And they have like another plugin, I can't remember, but that's only based on you can only get that with the subscription model. You can't buy that as a perpetual license, which is horseshit. Right? That's horseshit. Fuck SSL now too for that reason. You know, it's horseshit what they're doing to people, and I don't get down with the subscription model thing at all. Especially with software, dude. Software, code. They're charging you forever on code. So how long do you think you're going to be alive? You know what I'm saying? Using their products. I mean, here's the thing. As long as your computer works and you can have a computer that can run the program, then you have your software. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to you to take care of your computers and whatnot. And over the years, you know, they got new versions that come out. But as long as the company's honest, man, I don't see any harm in supporting an honest company. Where I see harm is when companies shit on their customers, dude. Like, that's what it is. Waves is shitting on their customers. Now, I used to kind of defend them because I was like, well, you know, professionals use their plugins, you know, they're not bad. It doesn't sound exactly like the gear, but they did a pretty good job modeling it. I mean, there's only so far you can to model things in the computer. And now I'm like, fuck them, dude. Like, serious. Like, okay, do you need an SSL channel strip from Waves anymore? No, Plugin Alliance makes SSL channel strips. Besides, do you need channel strips anymore, bro? Harrison's got you taken care of. I'm gonna be honest here. Ask any old school engineer, any old fart. Okay. As a matter of fact, there's a dude. God, what's his name, man? I think backyard dude. God, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I subscribed to him. I just forgot his name. But anyway, that dude talks up Harrison stuff too. He's an old school engineer who works on analog gear most of the time, and this is the only program he'll mess around with because it's the only one that, to his ears, legit sounds analog, right? But also it has the analog workflow on top of it all. So anyhow, that's another thing too. Just ask any old school engineer, you know, Harrison EQ versus SSL. SSL has a big name because of rap music, dude, because Dr. Dre made SSL basically hot in the rap world. Before, SSL had this reputation of being called so lousy, so lame, because it was kind of a shitty sounding console in comparison to Neve API and Harrison's. You know, Michael Jackson didn't work on SSLs early in his career. Thriller and all that, and Janet Jackson too, all done on Harrison's, right? Harrison 32, Harrison Series 10. I think they had a Series 12, I want to say. They did stuff on. And and Sade working on Harrison. Harrison was always considered like the Rolls Royce, you know, highest end quality, the Jaguar, basically, the Bugatti, you know, of mixing consoles, right? And like SSL was just like, okay, it's new, it's got computer stuff, it's got a crap EQ, a fucking compressor kind of sucks. Like, everything kind of sucked about SSL in the beginning, and people thought it kind of sounded like trash. But, you know, engineers were forced to work with it because for whatever reason, it just, the computer, I think it was the workflow. Once again, it's the automation, it was the fact that there were compressors on every channel. That was a new thing, right? Like, Harrison didn't have that on their consoles. API didn't. Neve didn't at the time. So SSL kind of set the bar on that, which nowadays all modern consoles now have, good ones at least, all have compressors on the channels. And they have a dedicated bus compressor, which is what you're getting here in Harrison Mixbus 32C version 9. Now you have, well, you always had the compressors, but they put a channel compressor on the original versions, and now they actually gave you a dedicated bus compressor. So now Harrison has basically taken over. This does everything an SSL console would do, with the added benefit that your EQ is a Harrison EQ, and ask anybody, the Harrison EQ is the best sounding EQ, according to many engineers, over any console ever made, even over Neve's, bro. Even over the Neve's. And Neve has a great, what people like about Neve was the transformer. The EQ is, yeah, it was good too, but even Neve himself didn't really like the EQs on his old 80 series stuff. He was always trying to update that EQ. And I think Rupert Neve kind of felt like he got close to the kind of EQ he wanted, either with the Focusrite or the AMEC 9098i console. I think that's where, actually no, I don't think he liked the EQ that he did on that one. I think it was the Focusrite Studio console where Neve felt like he had finally kind of achieved the perfect EQ for analog consoles. So, and that's his mindset, right? But look, man, Harrison is up there on that level, dude. Like, it's up there with Focusrite and all that other stuff. This Harrison 32 was considered the best sounding console of its era. So they obviously, Harrison in the modern day and age, kept what made them great, which is their EQ. Right? And I know we gave them shit over the bell curves. That's digital. That's a digital problem. That's not an analog problem. Their analog EQ was perfect. Now they managed to make sure that that EQ that you get in this software now matches the analog hardware. So now you have the perfect Harrison 32 EQ in this, right? Then they gave you the compressors. And they gave compressors, they wanted to give everybody an easy workflow. They wanted to just eliminate you having to use plugins. Because plugins are fucked up, man, to be honest. You know, you want consistency in your sound. In this case, with the Harrison 32 setup, you don't need to use plugins. You have the best quality EQ there is. If you need a surgical EQ, apparently they give you those as well. You can get those from them, and that's fine. They do make just regular digital plugins too. So you don't need to go to anybody else. Why not give money to a company that is actually honest at the end of the day, right? And, you know, and they listen to you. Like, they didn't have to fix their EQ. It was fine the way it is, despite the cramping bell curves. Obviously, Serban Gania has proven that with the metric halo channel strip, that a cramping bell curve obviously is not a deal breaker in terms of getting you, you know, a professional polished sound. But because we were all crying about it, they were like, all right, we'll fix it. So there you go, right? And I'm cool with that, man, you know? So you know now that this product is solid. Also, they've done everything. You don't need to go buy a saturator. They have drive on the channels. They have 2 types of tape saturation on the buses. And you have 1 type of tape saturation on the master bus, but it's a transparent tape anyway. So, but there's still some warmth. It's still giving you something. You have metering. You have more to this than I was even showing. Like, they even have this. Where is this thing? View. Where is it? Meter bridge. God, there it is. So you have a dedicated meter bridge too, if you want that too. If you got like a big screen and stuff. I don't use it because I don't really need it, but it's cool to have. So it's nice to know that it's there. You have other things that you don't... And see, guys, you don't have to use Pro Tools anymore. Like, okay, Pro Tools wants to shit on everybody with a subscription model. It's just a plugin container anyway. You're just going to go load up your plugins. Fuck those plugins. From Waves and all them, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, all these plugin developers are going to be greedy bastards, dude, and they're all going to think that that's the way to go, is to go to the subscription model way. And... dude, this is the resistance. You know what I'm saying? Is to be working with Harrison. Say, look, man, we ain't putting up with this shit anymore. I mean, how many studios are going to get into that? They're going to get tired of like spending money on that too. You know, especially now in this day and age. Where studios are dying, dude. They're dying because the software is getting so good. People are just staying home working on their records. They're not going to the studio. Some are going to the studio. But I don't know of many people going to the studio anymore. Simply put, the studio is in front of you now. Right here. So, I can talk about this all day, but that's what this video is about. This video is not about me mixing so much. I'm going to do a mix, but so you can hear it for those who didn't watch the other videos. But me, I'm talking shit about Waves today. Right? And I don't give a fuck what they have to say about it. I don't like their subscription model bullshit, and I don't like SSL going to subscription model bullshit, and I don't like Avid going to subscription model bullshit. And you know, you think about this for a half second. Hold up. Avid Protools, right? SSL. Okay, follow me? Waves. Why am I telling you this? These are 3 companies that are associated with usually professional studio type shit, right? They're basically the biggest names in the audio world. Wait a second, are you telling me they're a cartel? They might be. They're all going subscription model, right? And they are the official fucking, like, they've been like the industry standard shit, all of them. SSL, the industry standard console for the last fucking 40 years, right? Because it's been in every studio. Everybody mixes on SSLs of some kind. SSL 4000, SSL 9000, JK, SSL Duality, Duality Delta, SSL AWS consoles, SSL Origin. You know what I'm saying? Then the SSL plugins, the 360 system, UF8, UC1. You know what I'm saying? Duende, you know, SSL native, all that shit. Then them licensing the SSL name on, they become a brand, right? Now they're on like Waves plugins, Plugin Alliance plugins, UAD plugins, SoftTube plugins. You know what I'm saying? Wait a second. You know, Waves has gone subscription model. UAD is doing both for now. You know, Avid, full subscription model. Now you can't get a perpetual license. I don't think so. I think for a while they kind of did both, and then now I think they've gone completely subscription model based. I mean, let's be honest here. Do you like giving your money every fucking month to them to basically rent code? Bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Bullshit on that. Bullshit on that. At least what goes in my computer, I want to own it. Fuck that. I don't want that shit on a fucking timer. Every 30 days, I gotta go pay them money or let them just grab money out of my account. And if not, all of a sudden the plugins stop working. Dude, like, what if you fall on hard times? Or what if you forget about it? You fall on hard times, you forget about it, and then you get a notification that Waves just took out $14 out of your account. And that was like your last $14 till you got paid. You're like, damn, that was gonna go in my gas tank, you dicks. Fucking taking my money, motherfuckers. That's just bullshit. Because, you know, that's another thing, too. How much, you got to think about this, too. How much money are you getting back from doing music to be able to pay for this shit perpetually? You know, let's be honest here. Most of us here, we ain't making that much money at this shit. I have a day job, dude. I do other shit than music for my day job. I think most of us who watch this video do the same thing. We all got day jobs because music ain't really paying the bills like that for most of us. So that's crap to go subscription model like that. And then constantly, we already got people taking money out of our paychecks already, man. Fucking rent, the bills, you know what I'm saying? Water, lights, you name it. Taxes. All that shit, taking money out of your pocket, little by little by little by little. That you have to go to work and be a slave for 8+ hours a day, 40 hours a week at least, minimum. And they're over there grabbing out of your pockets constantly, so you can't even use the shit every day because you're working, right? And you probably got a family, all this other stuff, and then you just use it on the weekends, and you're paying forever on this? Nah, man. I'm sorry. That is bullshit. That is scummy. That's low. That is dirty. That's unethical. I think it's all that. And get this, they didn't even warn anybody they were going to do this. They literally were sending shit in my email like about a week ago about me buying plugins for $29.99 from these dickheads at Waves. And then all of a sudden, whoop, we're doing Creative Studio, and guess what? Everything is subscription based. So, hey, but we're not saying the plugins that you bought from us up until this point are going to stop working. They better not. I gave you guys money for that shit. No, but we're saying from this point forward, when you want to get the new SSL EV3, whenever they come out with that, oh, that's going to cost you money. You got to go into the perpetual license, and then you got to download like 1,000 plugins, and you know what I'm saying, and then take up all your hard drive space and all this other bullshit. No. Oh, but then they're like, oh, but then they give you this other bullshit. Well, we also have this service that's going to be using machine learning AI to kind of like go over your like sounds and stuff, make it easy for you to pick your sounds and stuff. Which I think I already have that, like Cosmos or something. You know, whatever, right? Once that stops working, dude, I'm gonna uninstall it. I'm not putting up with their shit. I'm not putting up with their shit. I don't think, my opinion, hey, my suggestion for you guys, you know, watching the video, we're all in this together. We're all in this music thing. You know, me personally don't support companies like that. That's their fault. They came up with that stupid ass plan. They believe the bullshit from the World Economic Forum that later on we're going to own nothing, we're going to be happy. Fuck that. No, I'm always going to own something. I don't give a fuck what Klaus Schwab says, right? I'm always going to be owning some shit. They can't do this to people. That is horseshit. I own, at the very minimum, I own what's in my head, right? They can't own that shit. And my ideas and my desires and my whatever, my dreams are mine. They can't take that from me. But thank God for companies like Harrison, man, right now. Right? So don't buy in all that bullshit, because there's a lot of hate videos about these people about before, when we were complaining about what we wanted them to fix. They fixed it. I'm telling you right now, they fixed it. This is perfect. This is the most perfect workstation you'll ever use. Second of all, you got Pro Tools over there gone full subscription model. That's crap, dude. That's crap. To use a digital workstation, and in my opinion, Pro Tools is the worst one. Only Audacity is slightly worse. You know? Like, that's the worst one. You know, and it's the industry standard. It's the industry standard because every studio has it, and it makes sense that everybody kind of agreed on a workstation they can use, they can, you know, share files with. But, God, how long did I go ranting about this shit? 26 minutes. No, I thought I'd been doing it for an hour, to be honest, guys. That's okay. You guys are used to that 20, 30-minute rants. So, anyhow, let me make sure, you guys are hearing me. Anyhow, fuck all that shit. Let's mix a song. Well, actually, it's a beat. Once again, it's another beat I made. It's like an R&B beat, and it's kind of like on some like triple timing stuff that I've decided to do. I was just kind of trying to be a little creative. So you guys can like hear a little bit about Harrison Mixbus and why you're not going to need to use any plugins ever. Like, okay, I got one right here. Analog Obsession, they give you free plugins. Pay the guy, give him something. Yeah, he's got a Patreon. Give him some money so that you can support what he's doing. But ultimately, if you can't afford it, it's cool. You can get his stuff for free. Anyway, he gives it away for free. So anyhow, I have a de-esser. That's the only thing. That's it. Everything else, I don't need a third-party plugin for. I'm going to use the EQ. I'm going to use the gate. So that means I don't have to use FabFilter gate anymore. You can think, too, like when I said earlier about the other YouTubers, they do kind of have a vested interest in talking up a product because they're secretly backed by them. A good example would be, and I don't like to get on this guy's shit list. I don't want to be on his shit list. I do like his videos. Are very informative, very detailed, and very accurate in what he's saying. But his videos are used by FabFilter. And FabFilter makes good plugins. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not shitting on FabFilter. They do make good plugins. Pro Q3 is fire. All their plugins are fire, dude. Even their saturator, which doesn't really sound like real, like analog saturation, but it still warms things up in a way, and it sounds decent. Their plugins are honest. They're not lying to you. So, yeah, you know I'm talking about Dan Worrell, man. You know what I'm saying? But I like his videos, don't get me wrong. But just, hey, from the perspective that, remember, he's a FabFilter man, right? So let's not forget that he's FabFilter man. But he's really good, and FabFilter makes good products. I am not shitting on FabFilter, but I'm just saying their products are really good for when you need to do surgery on your audio. That's what I really think about FabFilter products. And they're great for that. They're excellent for that. And I think, and they work just fine in Harrison Mixbus 32C, as a matter of fact. But now I don't have to use Pro G. I can just use their gate. Their compressor is wonderful. Even Dan Worrell actually said that they make good. Their compressor is good. He just wanted more, controls over the compressor, which they listened to him and they did it. So Dan Worrell can't talk shit about this now. Not that he wants to, you know what I'm saying? Like, he knows that the product's good. He's not going to say anything bad about it. And then, of course, you know, we can send to the buses. The tape saturation sounds really wonderful. Are we talking about aliasing or aliasing? I don't know, man. I don't hear it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that... I mean, I kind of have an idea what that's supposed to sound like. I just know at the end of the day, this mix sounds pretty... My mixes that I do in this software sound really good. So, you know, it is what it is. So anyway, without further ado, let's actually now just... let you, for those who didn't see my other videos, let you hear this software. I'm telling you, you don't need plugins. You got your EQ here, you got your compressor here, you got all this stuff you need. Let's go. What do you think? Sounds all right, huh? So anyway, I'm actually going to export it like this. I know that it's kind of, it's not clipping, it's hitting a limiter. But I've realized actually by letting it hit the limiter, I did this on a mix for a friend, and I just let it hit the limiter because I want him to hear it loud before mastering. He loved the way it sounded just right off that, and I was like, okay. And actually, when I did so I did an experiment on another track, and I just let it smash into the limiter. Is what it is. And so basically I printed the limiter along with everything, and no doubt, man, like, it still left headroom for mastering. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, dude, Harrison's got their act together, man. It actually still left, I think, probably like 1 decibel headroom. Probably I know why they do that. I think it's to prevent clipping anyway. But still, there was like a decibel of headroom still. So I was like, well, that's perfect. So there's still some headroom for mastering. Then I can bring those peaks down or whatever. So yeah. So see how quick that mix came together. That was 11 tracks. It really wasn't much. And it's bust. It's got some tape saturation on the drums, other instruments. Everything's got drive on it. So I learned this, right? So you turn the drive button on, and sometimes it's going to distort, but you're going to adjust it with the trim knob. So I learned that too. You're going to have the saturation once you turn on the drive. So I just turn them all on. You know what I'm saying? I wish there was a way where like I could just do that. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. Like, I can do it while I'm working on it and just turn the drive on while I'm mixing. So there you go, man. You have tape saturation, 2 types of tape saturation. I'm using orange because tape saturation orange sounds a little warmer, and I like that, especially on drums. You have basically the yellow type of tape saturation, which is on by default. That's what's on your master bus, I think. And and that tape is supposed to sound a little bit more transparent, but it's still warm in a way. It just sounds less, it's not like as warm as orange. So that's another thing that's really cool. And like what I did to this mix was way more than like somebody who sat there pouring over their mix for hours in Pro Tools, reaching for plugins, trying to figure out what EQ should I use. Harrison's EQ. I don't have to figure that one out, right? What EQ should I use on the drums? Harrison's. What compressors should I use? Dude, you know the compressor that I use? They just use the default compressor, man, leveler. And I didn't even change the ratio because it's a light ratio, and I kind of like the light ratio on a lot of stuff. But if I need to get aggressive, man, I just hit the comp mode, and I can go to compressor and go to limiter. I switch it to compressor mode. Here, I don't want to change anything because I need to print this mix first before I do that. But let me print my mix, right? So you can see that. So export to audio file. All right, I like 32-bit float, right? Browse. I like to put it on my desktop so I can know where to find it. R&B stuff, new one mix, right? And then export. And now it's exporting it. I don't really see it punching the limiter. It's like, really? It got close. Oh yeah, there it is, just a little bit. So I was checking the phase correlation meter. That's another thing I like about this. There was a phase correlation meter was telling me that this was kind of sounding a little too mono. So it's good. Like, I know it's going to sound good like on the phone and stuff or whatever, but it's a little too mono. So I went and I just found the hats and I just panned them a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right to increase a little bit more stereo image, you know, in the mix. I know I had that guitar sound or whatever. It was kind of panning left and right. It was ping pong delay left and right on the speakers. I was like, well, that's cool, but that wasn't adding enough, you know, space. You don't want too much. I think you want to aim for the green if at all possible, but, you know, it is what it is. Whatever the song needs, you know, that's what you do. Overall, everything's really good. That mix is fire to me. I'm happy with it. There you go. That's what mixing's like in Harrison Mixbus 32C version 9. Fast, easy, you're getting things done. Boom, boom, boom. You don't need to go reach for plugins. I didn't reach for a single Waves plugin in this entire mix. Sounds better than using any Waves plugins. So there you go. Goodbye, Waves. Goodbye, Avid Protools. I didn't like you anyway, Pro Tools. So I definitely don't want to pay a subscription for something I don't like. To me, I can't see why this isn't the industry standard, to be honest. I can't see why it's not. I mean, There's just fools, man. It's just like paying for an Apple device when when a regular PC does a lot more than a MacBook. It's just they want it, that's status. That's stupid. I use Pro Tools. Okay, so tell me that you're an idiot with your money without telling me you're an idiot with your money. Paying for... So you mean to tell me that you pay forever for a digital workstation you'll never own? Ha 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 ha. Fool, at least I own mine. That's like a person who rents a car versus somebody who owns their car outright, or rents a house versus somebody who owns the house. Whatever. People just love to argue and try to feel like they're better than everybody. But look, man, this mix right here, like this kind of mix right here with this software, that sound quality, how many plugins do you have to use in Pro Tools to get that sound quality? Oh, well, Avid Heat maybe just for one to give you a little bit of that analog vibe. It's still not that good at it, right? So, and then you gotta go reach for your Waves plugins, which is channel strip, right? And then a gate. Well, no, you have it on your channel strip, so you don't have to do that. Compressor, everything's on your channels. Then you have to go reach for what? A tape emulation of some kind. And then a different one for your master bus. Then your bus compressor on your master bus. And then let's talk about metering, right? So, yeah, Pro Tools has got some metering. Not as good as this, but whatever. And then, let me see. What else would you need? I think I covered the bus compressor. Oh, and an EQ. You got to reach for another EQ, right, for your master bus. Here they give you a 3-band EQ. That's all you're going to need. That's all you're going to need. You don't need like a surgical EQ on your master bus. I mean, if you got problems that you're trying to fix on your master bus with a surgical EQ, obviously that problem is somewhere on this side of everything in your mix. So you need to go back and find out where those problems are. But ultimately, if you're working with good sounds and whatever, I've told people this. People think I'm a dick about it, but I said, look, if you're working with good sounds, they still need to be mixed, but you don't have to be like Mr. Surgery Man with it. You're not a doctor. You are an audio engineer. Even if you're a producer, this is wonderful for producers, right? Dr. Dre sat behind a console. You need to sit behind one too, because ultimately that's where your sound's coming from. And then we talk about there's no real difference between this and an SSL console at this point in terms of just the way that it's set up, except that of the Harrison EQ and Harrison's compressors and stuff like that. They react a little different, but pretty much, I mean, you talk about SSL workflow, you got it right here. You got the SSL workflow. What about automation? Right here, man. Here it is. It's on the bottom. You probably can't see it all, but it had manual play, right, touch, and latch. So there's that. Grouping. You want to make a group. Whatever. Your VCAs. This is your phase flip right here. 0, 1, 0, 2. It's your phase flip. Basically left polarity, right polarity. VCA assign. Whatever. I guess it's a whatever. It automatically, another thing, when you import your tracks, it like automatically gives you, I think, a VCA channel or whatever they call it. I'm not sure. We have also on your mix buses, you can change it from, I don't know what that just did. Filter the channel list to only show the input strips that are assigned to this bus. So when I turn this off, it just showed these tracks are assigned to the bus. So if you get lost here while you're mixing, you could just hit that, and then you can see the tracks that are going into the bus only for that moment, and then you can mess around with that, and then obviously open it all back up. So they thought of everything, guys. They thought of everything. On top of it all, you also have the record window, the cues and stuff. I mean, I haven't recorded with this yet, so I can't tell you what that's like yet. I'm going to one day, just not now. You have a monitor section. See, it says add monitoring section. Sure, there it is. There's your monitor section. Now, what if you did that by accident and you want to turn it off? Well, you go over here, and then you can just uncheck that, and then it's gone. But that's if you want a separate monitoring section, separate monitoring section that is not affecting what you're doing here. So you can go to your monitor section, you can like turn things down there, but you don't want to really turn things down on your master bus or anything. You can do it there. I'm telling you, man, I thought of everything, dude. This is everything that you need to do mixing. I don't do mastering in here because this is a mixing console, basically. And you would send it off for mastering. If you're a mix engineer, you're not going to do mastering. If you're going to do mastering, you can do that in your workstation you already use to make beats. I do that in FL Studio. Just go in FL. I just take that project, run in FL Studio. I do my mastering there. You know, for mixing, this is what you need, man. You need this. I'm telling you. I made a second video talking it up because I also wanted to let you guys know, and you can fact check me. Waves has screwed everybody with the subscription model. So now I can't think of a better time to go, you know what, maybe I need to learn this new thing here, this Harrison Mixbus 32C. I think it's time to learn it. Because their whole premise, they've been telling people this for a while. You don't need plugins when you use this. You don't need plugins when you use this. There you go. Just get this, you don't need plugins. If you need surgical stuff, dude, they got you covered, man. I'm going to show you where they have you covered real quick. You need surgical stuff, they got you covered. Now, I do have my plugins in here, too. You can run your plugins in here. But, like, let's say you didn't want to buy plugins. You're brand new to all this or whatever. I go, I'm not buying plugins. They have these from Harrison down here, the XT stuff. And so you have your stuff. Let's say I'll add one. I think I need to buy it, is what it is. Or maybe it comes with it. Hell if I know. But anyway, there's your surgical EQ, bro, if you need it. And, dude, it sounds fire. All right, they got me interested. Hold on. And then you can just double-click, put everything back. If you must have a surgical EQ, so what am I using that on? What sound is this? It's a clap. All right. So, and you can put this above your compressor or something. Or put it above your 32C EQ. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So, I mean, they got you covered if you got to be... Oh, is this... My bad. Yeah, I need to buy the plugin, man, if I want to use it, like, in that. But I don't have a need for it, but I probably will. I'll probably buy it someday. Unless my license for the software works. Maybe they gave this to us. I have no idea. But either way, I'll just buy it. It is what it is. Later on, if I feel I need it. But anyhow, they got you covered there if you need those kind of plugins. The XT plugins are more than enough to get the job done. A lot of these plugins, too, I believe that they have with the XT. They also have their Avid plugins, suite and stuff. And a lot of it's based on their MPC console, motion picture console, which is that's like their super duper console. And that's for mixing movies. And I think that console costs over $1 million. Like, it's the most expensive console in the world. But like I said, it's for movies. So, like, I'm just telling you, man, they got you covered, though. Anything that you need, they got you covered. So if you need a graphic EQ like that, just because you need it. Now, I couldn't see the waveform once again, but, like, use your ears. I've been telling people that. Use your ears. It sound like you need to change things and change it. But otherwise, you don't really need that stuff. You have what you already need right here in front of you. So hopefully you found this video informative, educational, maybe even funny in some parts. I'm not sure if you like my comedy, my humor. If you did and you really like my videos, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Bear in mind when you hit the notification bell, look, my videos going to take 2 hours after I first upload them for the HD version to be processed. Okay, so don't give me any shit about the fact that you clicked on it immediately as soon as I uploaded it and the shit sounds like 360p, dude. It's because That's just the standard version. The HD version is being is already uploaded. It's just being processed, and that takes 2 hours. So what you do is when you get the notification, bing, you just uploaded a new video. Wait 2 hours, then you'll get the HD version, and then which will be the version that everybody sees later anyway. Anyway, man, it's your boy Vigilante Styles, man. Hopefully you also find my videos informative, because I don't pull no punches, guys. I tell you guys like it is, man, because I'm a consumer. I am you guys. I am nobody special. You guys are special. I'm nobody special. I'm just saying that I'm like you guys. I'm just a regular person, just regular Joe, working on music, mixing, mastering. Some people work on cars. I work on music, in my spare time. And it is what it is. And as a consumer, I gotta tell you guys my personal experience, my personal thoughts about what companies are doing, because that's just how we do in the USA and America. We have freedom of speech. We can speak our mind about products that we don't like. That's why we have reviews, and we can give reviews on stuff, and we can review companies if we think companies are being shady. We have the Better Business Bureau. We have a lot of things where we can complain about a company that we feel is not looking out for us. So in my case, I don't go through all that very often. I'm just going to make a video about it, talk shit about them in the video. It is what it is. So anyway, you guys be good, man. It's your boy Vigilante Styles, man. And till we meet again, man. Peace.